It's been a snowy start here in the metro, out in the foothills, as well as the high country. Right now, you're taking a live look around Colorado at Steamboat, Loveland Ski Area, Greeley, and right here in Denver. You can see visibility is definitely an issue along I-70 and here in the Denver metro area. If you're just waking up with us, you probably opened up your windows to a lot more snow outside of your home. Our photojournalist, Anna Houston, she is out on the roads. She's been out all morning, keeping an eye on road conditions for you. Right now, she's along Kipling, heading toward I-70 in Arvada. Again, I-70 is probably going to be the messiest part of that morning drive, so definitely stay indoors if you can. If you are heading out on the roads, just be careful and take it slow. We're going to check back in with her all throughout the morning. Good morning, I'm Brianna Fernandez. That snow and cold temperatures has led us to call for a weather impact day for today, so we want to send it over to Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Spears with a look at your local forecast. Hey, Chris, lots of snow this morning.
Yes, good morning to you. It was a very snowy drive down at 3 o'clock from the foothills, and the snow is still flying out there. It's mainly light, but it is impactful because we are so cold. Those roads definitely snow-packed in spots. It's going to be between now and, say, 4 o'clock as far as the bulk of the snow. It doesn't mean it just magically ends at 4 o'clock. We may continue to see areas of snow into the evening, but the bulk of it is this morning into early afternoon. 2 to 4 inch totals on average here in Denver, and I say average because somebody may do a little bit better. 3 to 6 will be common in the foothills, with 6 to 12 in the mountains. This is jet stream induced snow, meaning we have a strong band of wind above us this morning right here in the northern third of the state. So it's only the northern third of Colorado receiving the snow, and where the snow is falling, we have some pockets of moderate snow in metro Denver. Some of that does extend out onto the eastern plains, and then as you go into the northern and northwestern mountains, we have snow flying there this morning as well. It is cold. We are 19 at the airport with a very light wind out of the east at 5. Those temperatures will not move much today. We stay socked in. In fact, we'll flirt with 20 basically the entire day. You may briefly get to 21 or 22, but the bottom line is it's going to be a cold one, and that means those roads will stay on the slick slide. Brianna, we're going to warm things up in a couple of days, and then we have another shot of snow. I'll have all those details in our forecast coming up.
Chris, thank you so much. Our Weather Impact Team will keep an eye on this storm throughout the day. You can stream our coverage 24/7 on Fire, Roku, as well as Apple TV, and our 9news.com website and our 9 News app as well. The man accused of killing 2 people in a stabbing spree in downtown Denver appeared in a district court for the first time for an advisement hearing yesterday. Nearly 2 weeks ago, police arrested 24-year-old Elijah Caudell in connection to 4 stabbings along the 16th Street Mall. He was stopped by police moments after the last of 4 stabbings on January 11th and 12th. According to our partners at the Denver Gazette, competency has not been raised by either the defense or prosecution. Despite defense motions filed directly mentioning his ongoing mental health issues, he is due back in court on February 11th. Yesterday, family and friends gathered in Scottsdale, Arizona to say goodbye to one of the stabbing victims. Celinda Levno was an American Airlines flight attendant based out of Phoenix. She was on a layover here in Denver when she was fatally stabbed. People gathered inside a church surrounded by flowers and photos of Levno for a funeral mass. One of her co-workers said she was a fun person who was very cheerful and always happy. Levno was 71 years old. A man charged with killing a dog breeder will go to trial. At a hearing yesterday, investigators revealed new details about Paul Peavy's death and how the suspect allegedly stole all of his Doberman puppies. 9 News reporter Ria Job breaks down the new information for us.
Actually met here. That's where I met him, was here.
The name Paul Peavy, one of Gary Burke's close friends, became a memory in late August.
I relive it all the time.
Paul was a dog breeder who sold Doberman puppies. He was reported missing, but then his body was discovered days later on his property in Clear Creek County. A coroner ruled his death a homicide, finding 3 gunshot wounds to his body. In a preliminary hearing for the suspect on Friday, we found out Paul also suffered a gunshot wound to the head.
I knew that already. I saw it.
Gary was part of the original community search party who found Paul's body.
Oh, I was the person who found him.
Sergio Ferrer, the suspect, later admitted to shooting Paul, but claimed it was in self-defense.
There was no way there was self-defense involved in this whole thing, any way, shape, or form.
One of the biggest questions of this case was the disappearance of Paul's prized Doberman puppies. The CBI investigator who testified said Paul had around 20 puppies before his death, none of them found on the property afterwards.
He was trying to sell the Dobermans through social media, using his phone.
In court on Friday, prosecutors showed messages sent from Ferrer's phone through social media. One of them said, "Can you help me get rid of some European Doberman puppies? I got 8 of them, 2 months old." Another message sent on Snapchat was a photograph of about 8 Doberman puppies in a crate.
He already confessed. I mean, they got the evidence on his phone. They found the evidence in his house. They found all kinds of stuff. There's no way he's getting out of it.
Ferrer later admitted to taking those puppies. His defense attorney tried to point to other suspects, but a judge ruled there was enough evidence to move forward on 6 counts, including charges of first-degree murder, felony murder, and theft.
He didn't deserve that. Not that way. So hopefully Sergio gets what's coming to him. We'll see.
Rhea Jha, 9 News.
Tenants living in a property near downtown Denver have less than 12 hours to move out. The Denver Department of Public Health and Environment made that call because of poor living conditions.
What's one word you would use to describe what it's like in there right now?
Atrocious. I think that's fair enough.
The William Penn Apartments at Pennsylvania and 16th is run by CBZ Management. Aurora's Mayor Mike Kaufman called the company an out-of-state slumlord. CBZ made national headlines when it claimed Venezuelan gangs took over their properties in Aurora. The city has said the gangs moved in when the company abandoned the properties. As for the apartments here in Denver, they have had 58 violations since 2023. Tenants currently do not have heat, gas, or hot water.
This landlord really could not keep up and as it appears, has kind of abandoned this building, and so it's no longer safe for folks to live here.
According to an order posted to the building's door, tenants must be out by 5 tonight. Closure notices have been posted at another property run by the same company, CBC Management, in Aurora. The Edge Lowry apartments on 12th and Dallas have been at the center of those reported issues involving Venezuelan gang members, as well as rundown conditions. The posted notices are the city's next steps in closing the 5 remaining buildings there following a court's decision to close the apartment complex. The city also hired a temporary property administrator to assess the property and connect tenants with relocation resources. Making national headlines, President Donald Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom toured the damage from the wildfires on Friday. The governor greeted Trump on the tarmac, and the two spoke about working together to fix the disaster. Both of them took off to the sky to get a bird's eye view of the massive fires and all the damage left behind.
Thank you for being here. It means a great deal to all of us, and not just the folks in Palisades, the folks in Altadena that were devastated. We're going to need your support. We're going to need your help.
We got to get it finished. We're looking to get something completed. And the way you get it completed is to work together. He's the governor of the state. And we're going to get it completed. They're going to need a lot of federal help. Unless you don't need any, which should be okay.
We're going to need a lot of federal help.
The fires that came through LA killed at least 28 people and grew to over 23,000 acres before being mostly contained. Speaking of federal help, President Donald Trump and the First Lady have spoken out about FEMA's response to the disasters like the California wildfires and Hurricane Helene's destruction in North Carolina, saying the response has been too slow, floating a potentially dramatic move, eliminating FEMA entirely.
I think, frankly, FEMA's not good. FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away.
Trump is now proposing the White House to send disaster relief directly to states, giving governors more control. But a president does not have the power to shut down FEMA and would need Congress to give him the authority to remake or get rid of any agency. FEMA's defenders argue the federal government supports states and has a broadness of expertise and resources to respond, which most states do not have. Other news making national headlines. Pete Hegseth is the new United States Defense Secretary. The decision came by a very narrow margin in the Republican-controlled Senate Friday night. The initial vote was split down the middle 50-50 with 3 Republicans, Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins, joining all 47 Democrats in voting no. The tie-breaking vote came from new Vice President J.D. Vance, which then ended weeks of uncertainty over Trump's controversial pick to lead the Pentagon. Turning overseas, where the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is holding 5 days after it went into effect. Under the terms of the deal, more hostages are set to be released, including 4 female Israeli soldiers held captive in Gaza. The 4 females released from captivity in Gaza arrived at a military base in southern Israel to be reunited with their parents. They're known as the Watchtower Girls, unarmed women soldiers taken from an observation post. They're being released in exchange for 200 Palestinian prisoners. Family of the hostages watched their release along with the rest of the world, saying that they are excited that they're back.
We are very excited now, and it's a big time for us. And you just want to hug her, want to see her and to hug her, and to say to her that she's safe now, and everybody is waiting for her.
The Israel Defense Forces said that the medical officials are tagging along with the returning hostages, and they will undergo into initial medical assessment.